With the release of this absolutely sensational set that I'm definitely still yet to finish, my love for LEGO Lord of the Rings has truly rekindled, and that means I have a new minifig obsession. Yes, that's right, I've been rebuying my entire LEGO Lord of the Rings collection. I think I sold over 100 minifigures about 2 or 3 years ago when I first got back into LEGO Star Wars. They helped fund the start of this channel, so I guess they went to a good cause. But as you can see, I've kind of been busy buying quite a few minifigures, and of course building this up over the past month or so. You can see I'm going slow, I'm enjoying the build. I've had a few other things to build, and I've been building a ton of big LEGO sets at the moment, so I've been really lucky. But this is truly on another level. I really think it is one of the best LEGO sets ever released, and yeah, I'm basically going to be undergoing a project on my main channel very soon, and that's why I've been buying a ton of LEGO Lord of the Rings minifigures, and we have a couple of packages to unbox today. But I thought I'd quickly take you through my entire collection so far. We have a cheap way of building a Rohirrim army, as well as just the plain standard uruk-hI army, as well as some named characters and some elves as well, so this should be pretty cool. Obviously we got the entire fellowship from this set. I'm yet to get Aragorn out of the set yet, but I think one of the packages I've bought will have an Aragorn minifigure in there. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you this LEGO Lord of the Rings minifig collection so far. So yeah, sadly, like I mentioned, I sold all of my minifigs. I think I had maybe a handful of uruk-hI, I had the Helm's Deep, I had a load of Hobbit sets, as well as a few of the bigger sets in the Lord of the Rings theme as well. I didn't have Barad-dûr, but a few of the other big ones. I actually did make a video years and years ago, which is unlisted, which I guess I can leave a link to if you do want to see a horrendous old SW video. But here on my second channel, I thought I'd quickly go over my collection so far, and then go over all the things that I've been buying and stuff like that, because I really do love LEGO Lord of the Rings, and I can't wait to undergo this massive project that I'm going to do here on the main channel very soon. But with that being said, I'll grab some of the packages that we've got, add them to the various different armies, and then we'll sort of get a better in-depth look at everything that we've got. So here we have 3 pretty great packages. This one in the middle has, I think I paid £90, but tons more value than I actually paid for here, as well as a 5-star toys order, and then another Bricklink order which has some cool figures in as well. So we're going to go through these really quickly. So we'll start with this 5-star toys one right here. This was actually the second 5-star toys order I've done since getting back into LEGO Lord of the Rings. They have a couple of really cool custom things, as well as obviously some pieces from the actual figures and stuff. As always, I think I've done thousands of orders now on 5-star toys, so if you want to check them out, you can use my discount code that you see on screen here. But yeah, basically, yeah, there's a couple of pieces in here that are custom. There's a few pieces I've already got that were custom from 5-star as well. We have a couple of uruk-hI spears here. These look so cool. I absolutely love these. I already have 2, which I'll show you in a second, so this will go well with the uruk-hI army. We have the head and body for a berserker orc. Obviously the legs are really plain on this minifigure, so I'll go ahead and make up some legs as well. And speaking of legs, I got these Boromir legs because I just do think these have a slightly nicer look to them than the new Boromir legs, so I will go ahead and show you that and sort of compare them. And then these are 2 incredible uruk-hI helmets. These just look so sick with the hair coming down the back and stuff. So again, I got another one of these already. I think there's 3 different styles that were on 5-star toys. I got the first style in the first package, and then obviously these are the second 2 styles. Now this package is incredible, but this one is pretty awesome too. So this is a Bricklink order. Inside of here there should be a couple of figures, and then some pieces for figures as well. We have 3 of these Legolas minifigures. Now this is of course the Legolas we got in a couple of Hobbit sets, I think, but basically I'll show you a bit more about what I'm going to do with these later on. But next we've got 5 uruk-hI torsos. I think it worked out cheaper to buy a couple of torsos and legs towards the end, so I decided to buy a load of these, but obviously I was buying the uruk-hI minifigures at sort of face value, about £10 each. And then I sort of decided that I might buy a couple of legs and sort of bodies. So inside of here is a couple more of the legs, I think. Yep, so we have 5 more of the heads and 5 more pairs of legs. And there's a Mouth of Sauron here. Now this is actually a sneak peek. We've got one more package arriving later. I think you might be able to guess what figure I have bought. But yeah, that's a cool one to add into the sort of head collection. Oh, and it looks like one more thing's in here. Oh, I got a pair of the legs as well. So that's going to save me having to piece together a pair of legs for the Berserker. So that's kind of good. But now the final and most epic package right here, guys, is this one. So basically I go on Instagram. I put out a story saying, does anyone have any Lord of the Rings minifigures for sale? So this guy replied to me and he had a fair few ready to go, so I decided to buy them. You might be able to see a few things in here, but let's quickly pull each figure out and give you a better look at what we've got here. So first of all, the minifigure I mentioned earlier, Aragorn. We got the old Aragorn. He just had this and it was kind of added into the bulk lot, so we'll take that. I think it's a cool minifigure, and there's definitely things I like about this minifig that I don't like about the new one. It's a different outfit, so it's kind of cool to get. Threw in a couple of Star Wars figures, including this Commander Gree, and 3 Geonosians with wings, so that's pretty cool. But back onto Lord of the Rings, we have a ton of other minifigures. We have a load of uruk-hI minifigs, starting with this one with the hair, one with full armor here, a second one with full armor, one with slightly less armor but specifically with a shield, which is really cool. It does have a few dents I've just noticed, which is a bit of a shame, but it's still pretty cool to get. Those are pretty hard to find and they're quite expensive now, so that's good to have. We have a Gundabad Orc next, which is really cool. Bear in mind I paid £90, so about $100 for all of this. 2 of the Hunter Orcs, which are brilliant minifigs, actually kind of underrated. They did come, I believe, with a hairpiece, but obviously these ones don't have it, which is not a problem at all. There's one minifig that's super exclusive and another one that's pretty incredible too. But first we have a Thranduil right here. He is a brilliant minifig. I think he's very underrated. I actually just recently watched all of the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies again, and I actually think he's quite cool, so it's good to get him. He also comes with this awesome shield, which is pretty sick as well. Then we have a generic elf right here, and then I think this is two versions of Tariel. I might be wrong. This might be sort of one's Tariel and one's just a regular elf, but yeah, still pretty sick nonetheless. And we have another elf with a bow right here and a hood piece, which is a really sick minifig once again. We have Aemir here. This is such a sweet minifig. You might have seen I was using the torso in part of the Rohan army, but now we have the elusive legs and obviously the rest of the minifig as well. I really love this figure. The legs are beautiful, the torsos are a really cool print, and then the helmet is really sick as well. Now obviously this isn't his original head, this is just a plain head right here, but I think I should have a head that looks a little bit like Aemir, or might even be the right one, so if not, I'll just buy the head separately at some point. Now the final minifigure is of course King Theoden right here. Now you will notice straight away there's no chest plate on this minifigure, which is a massive shame, but I got such a good deal on this guy, and the whole bulk lot was a really good deal, so I couldn't really say no, and I probably will go ahead and just try and find a chest plate for him. I think there was one in the UK for sale on Bricklink, but it was like, I think it went up from about 15 to about 25 now, so I think I should have pulled the trigger a couple of days ago, but I missed out on that one. But if you've got a chest plate for sale, let me know in the comments and I definitely will pick it up from you. But yeah, still a really nice minifig nonetheless, and I actually really like the way his torso print looks, so I think it's kind of cool to have him without the chest plate, but obviously it'd be cooler to have the full minifigure. But yeah, that is the last minifig from the hauls. Let's put everything together and then amass our full army. So there is the base plate with the original figures that we had. Let's start by adding the uruk-hI minifigs, and then we'll go through every single figure that's in this sort of army here. So now you can see that I've split it up into two base plates. We sort of have the good and the evil over here, so obviously this is my big uruk-hI army, as well as some orcs, but you can see here the elves at the front here aren't fully complete, and that's because I'm going to use these pieces here to quickly set up and show you exactly what I'm doing with all these Legolas bodies. So basically during the Battle of Helm's Deep we see Haldir, and we sort of have that minifigure, but he's very expensive, so I wanted to make loads of other elves to go with him, and they have sort of very gold and red and then blue markings, obviously the blue being on the cape. So I decided to go ahead and make these guys. So obviously they have the Legolas body with the shield, and then we have the bow for these guys, and then I think for the other ones I'm going to give them the swords that we saw in the Rivendell set. So you can see this guy's kind of like the leader of my little squad that I have here. He has this helmet again from Firestar, which is really sick. Kind of like to get a couple more, but I think they're like £10 each, so kind of expensive, but still look really good. So we're going to make up the last couple ones here. Basically I'm going to use these capes there from the recent Falconer, and then I'm going to use the heads from Legolas, and then I'm going to sort of use a few hoods. The best thing about the ones with the hoods is that I can actually add a quiver to them. Obviously the ones that have the hair piece, you can't actually add the quivers to them. So yeah, these guys are pretty cool, but let me know what you think of my purest custom squad of elves here. Now on to another very interesting faction over here. We have Theoden with his Rohirrim. I actually will be giving these guys horses and stuff. I probably should go grab them actually now. I kind of forgot about that. Before I add them to the horses, actually I will give you a better look at the minifigures, because obviously once they're on the horses you can't really see the details as well. But yeah, basically it turns out the kind of Aemir I had before has this Thor head, and that kind of resembles Aemir quite well, so I will be swapping that head over for the actual Aemir for now. But basically as a way to make these nice and cheap, I've basically been using any dark green castle themed bodies or anything like that. I've used a few of these Viking helmets as well as the Viking bodies, and a lot of bodies and legs from the CMF recently. This guy has a custom helmet and a nice chainmail torso. This one has a Legolas torso. This guy was meant to represent the old guy that shoots the arrow on Helm's Deep. But yeah, there's some nice detail across these minifigures, and I think they look really good. And this is definitely way better than spending £20 a minifigure to get the actual Rohirrim minifig. And whilst I was doing this, I was sort of researching what the actual Rohirrim looked like in the movies and books and stuff, and how they're described, and I think this turned out pretty well. I love this torso right here. That was from a Centaur minifig. But let me know what you think of this custom army right here. But now we've covered my kind of two custom armies. Obviously we have a couple of miscellaneous minifigures and some other minifigures from the actual haul we just got, as well as the minifigs from Rivendell. Obviously we have the full fellowship here. I've kind of used Aragorn as a placeholder, and of course I'll be getting Elrond pretty soon to add to that from the last couple of bags. I think the only changes I've made to these minifigures are that I added these dual molded arms to Legolas. I think that looks really cool. And let's quickly test Boromir with these other legs. So these are the original ones from the set, and this is him with the old style legs. I definitely think I prefer the grey ones, but the blue ones are nice. I just do love that sort of subtle difference between the grey part and then the lower leg being blue as well. I think looks a bit weird, so let me know what you think. I also might swap the head out for the old version as well. I think the old version is a little bit more ginger in the beard. I'm not sure whether that's more accurate or not, but I kind of prefer it. Overall, the minifigs in Rivendell are absolutely fantastic. I really love the lineup that we got, and of course including the full fellowship as well as a load of other minifigs is just so sick. Now I've kind of rambled my way through all these minifigs over here. Let's talk a little bit more about the uruk-hI and the orcs. So I went from basically having 4 of the polybags to now having 26 uruk-hI minifigs, 2 berserkers and a LotR at the front here. You can see LotR has this bow and then this cool custom shield. The 4 behind LotR have these custom helmets as well as custom spears, and all have shields from the actual sets. This berserker has a custom torch, and this one has this massive sword right here. Then basically all the other ones are just normal uruk-hI. I've kind of swapped between helmets, no helmets, and then different spears and swords and stuff like that to make it nice and diverse. And I think that army looks pretty sweet right there, and I'm really happy with that. Finally, of course, we have our orcs right here, which were a surprise addition, but I think are a welcome one. Now that's the extent of my collection right now. Of course, there's one more package I've mentioned that's going to arrive in just a few days, so hopefully I'll show that at the end of this video. But whilst we're waiting, let's add the Rohirrim to their actual horses finally. Okay, so there's the entire collection right there. The Rohirrim on their horses, everything's all set up. I'll cut back in and update you once that final package arrives. So yeah, I might have said we were waiting on only one package, but as you can see, there are 2 here. I'll show you this in just a second, but first of all, of course, yes, as I've been hinting to, this is, of course, the Mouth of Sauron. Now, I ordered this on eBay, I believe it was. I haven't been buying many things on eBay for a long time now, but you can see we have the beautiful Mouth of Sauron. His head's on backwards right there, but yeah, we also have the horse, so that's pretty cool. I'm really glad to get these into the collection. The horse on its own is a really cool minifigure, whether you're building like a medieval thing or something like that, because it has this really cool print on the head, and on their own, they go for a decent amount of money, but you can see we also picked up the Mouth of Sauron. Now, yeah, I paid £55 for both of these, and honestly, yeah, I think I'll take that price, because I think if there is that Barad-dûr set that's kind of rumoured, there's a chance that this guy wouldn't be included in that set, and I think he would fit perfectly with it. This might be a great investment for that sort of thing, and either way, he's just a really cool minifigure, so I'm really glad to have him in the collection now. But of course, we also ordered a few more minifigures. I wasn't happy with just the things we've ordered so far in this video, so I had to buy a couple more Lord of the Rings things. You might be able to get a sneak peek through the bubble wrap right there to see exactly what we've ordered, but there's a couple of big figs, or sort of like animals in here. So of course, in this side here, you can see the iconic blue of the cave troll here. We're going to put this guy together in a second. But inside of this one, we also got a warg. So this is really cool. This is the dark brown version of the warg. Really nice figure. And yeah, I found a decent deal for both of these on Bricklink. This cave troll came to a total of £30. And it's quite ironic because I think the cave troll was the last figure that I sold from my original Lord of the Rings collection. And I think I sold it for £20 relatively recently. So I kind of wasted a bit of money on that. But either way, it's a really cool big fig. Very big as well compared to other big figs that we sort of get nowadays, like Thanos. Like you can see, even compared to this Hulk that I've got here, he's way bigger, which is so epic. And then I think I got one of the cheaper wargs that are for sale in the UK. I think I paid about £15 for this one as well, so that's really awesome. It's a really cool animal mold, probably one of the better ones we've ever seen from LEGO, and of course, it's going to fit great in my orc army. Oh, and I did mention I'd finished Rivendell whilst we were waiting, but yeah, you can see there's no progress been made. I have been taking apart my giant Kashyyyk mock, so I've kind of been a bit preoccupied. But yeah, with these 3 fine additions to the collection, it's time to go and have a look at everything combined. And there is the full collection. Obviously on the left you can see it's kind of like more the evil theme with the orcs, the uruk-hI, the cave troll and everything else. And then over on the right we have all of the good guys. We have elves, we have men, we have hobbits, and we have of course the full fellowship. If you're wondering, we have a total of 77 minifigures, including the 2 that we still have to get from Rivendell. I really love the way this collection's coming together. I really think it's looking pretty awesome, and I can't wait to use this in some upcoming projects. I really am excited to finish Rivendell as well. But stay tuned to this second channel to see some more cool behind the scenes updates, as I might be doing a few smaller mocks over here and projects that won't fit into main videos. But that main video on the main channel is going to be pretty epic too, so you're going to want to subscribe to both channels. Hit that like button on today's video if you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think of Lord of the Rings. And like I mentioned before, if you want to see how much this collection's grown, click here and get an exclusive look at that unlisted, super cringy version of my collection, where I basically butcher every name of every character and whisper throughout the entire video. But either previous me will see you over there, or I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, guys. Goodbye.